You eat sourdough toast for breakfast because you heard it's the healthier bread. An hour later, you're staring at the clock, foggy, irritable, reaching for coffee number 2 just to get through a meeting. Here's what nobody tells you. Sourdough alone isn't the full picture. The fermentation helps, but plain sourdough toast, especially with just butter or jam, can still spike your blood sugar fast enough to crash it a couple hours later. Today I'm showing you the one simple addition that changes the entire curve, turning that same slice of toast from an energy crash into steady, stable fuel that actually gets you through your morning. Here's why sourdough gets a health halo in the first place. The fermentation process partially breaks down some of the starches and creates a slightly lower glycemic response compared to standard white bread, and it's genuinely a better baseline choice for a lot of people. But here's the part that gets skipped. Sourdough is still primarily starch. Eaten alone, it digests quickly, and quick digestion means a fast rise in blood sugar, followed by a fast fall. That fall is very often what people are actually feeling when they hit that wall by 10 or 11 a.m. So today we're covering 3 things: what's actually happening in your body during that crash, the specific metabolic fix that changes the response, and exactly how to build your toast so it works for you instead of against you. Let's start with what's happening physiologically when that crash hits. Section 1. What's actually happening during the crash? When you eat a food that digests quickly, like plain toast, the starch breaks down into glucose fast, and that glucose floods into your bloodstream in a short window. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin to help move that glucose into your cells. Here's the problem with a fast, sharp rise. It often triggers a correspondingly fast, sharp response from insulin, and that can pull your blood sugar down past your normal baseline, sometimes into a mildly low range. This dip is commonly what shows up as that midday crash. Fatigue, brain fog, irritability, and often a fresh craving for something sugary or caffeinated to compensate. This isn't a flaw in your metabolism. It's a completely normal response to a food that digests too quickly relative to how much of it you ate. The good news is, this response is highly modifiable, and it comes down to one main lever: how fast that starch actually reaches your bloodstream in the first place. Section 2. The metabolic fix. This is where healthy fats come in, and specifically why avocado and seeds work so well on sourdough. Fat slows gastric emptying, meaning it slows down how quickly food leaves your stomach and enters your small intestine, where most carbohydrate absorption actually happens. When you add fat to a starchy food, you're not changing the starch itself, you're changing the speed at which your body has access to it. The combined effect is a flatter, more gradual rise in blood sugar after the same slice of toast. Because the rise is more gradual, the corresponding insulin response is more measured too, which means there's no sharp overcorrection pulling your blood sugar down a couple hours later. You get sustained energy instead of a spike and a crash from the exact same starch you were eating before, just delivered more slowly to your bloodstream. Protein does something similar and is worth mentioning here too. An egg, or a scoop of cottage cheese alongside your toast, adds another macronutrient that slows overall digestion and adds staying power, which is part of why avocado toast with a poached egg has become such a popular combination. It's not just texture. There's a real mechanism behind why it holds people over longer. Section 3. Building the toast that actually works. Here's the practical version. Start with a slice of real sourdough, ideally one that lists just flour, water, salt, and a live starter culture, rather than a loaf labeled sourdough that's mostly made with commercial yeast and a small amount of starter for flavor only. Top it with 1/4 to 1/2 of an avocado, mashed or sliced, which gets you a solid dose of monounsaturated fat and some fiber in one addition. Add a tablespoon of mixed seeds on top. Hemp and pumpkin seeds work particularly well here because they blend easily into mashed avocado, and you're layering in more fat, more fiber, and a bit of magnesium and protein as a bonus. A pinch of salt and pepper, maybe some chili flakes or lemon juice, finishes it without adding anything that undoes the effect. If you want to push this further, add a soft or fried egg on top, which brings in protein alongside the fat and fiber, creating one of the most balanced, slow-digesting versions of toast you can build. Even something simpler, sourdough with natural nut butter instead of jam, follows the same basic logic: fat and a bit of fiber slowing down what would otherwise be a fast-digesting starch. There's a longer-term reason this pairing matters too, beyond just how you feel by mid-morning. Repeated sharp spikes and crashes in blood sugar day after day are associated with increased hunger and cravings later in the day, since that crash often leaves you reaching for something quick and sugary to bring your energy back up fast. Over time, this pattern can make it noticeably harder to manage overall intake, simply because you're fighting your own blood sugar swings multiple times a day instead of working with a steadier baseline. There's also a satiety angle worth mentioning. Fat and fiber both slow gastric emptying, which means food stays in your stomach longer and you stay physically full longer. Plain toast might leave you hungry again within an hour or two, while the same toast with avocado, seeds, or egg can comfortably carry you closer to lunch, which often means you naturally eat less overall without having to think about restriction at all. This is really the bigger pattern behind almost every pairing we've covered in videos like this one. Starch or sugar alone tends to digest fast and leave you hungry again quickly, while starch or sugar paired with fat, fiber, or protein tends to digest more slowly and keep you fuller, steadier, and more energized for longer. Sourdough toast with avocado and seeds is just one clear, everyday example of that same underlying principle. Sourdough isn't the problem, and you don't need to give it up. The metabolic secret isn't really a secret. It's just remembering that a starch on its own digests fast, and pairing it with fat and fiber is what slows that process down enough to keep your energy steady instead of spiking and crashing before lunch. If this changed how you'll build your toast tomorrow morning, subscribe for more practical, evidence-based swaps like this one, and let me know in the comments. Avocado, nut butter, or egg? Which pairing are you trying first? And if toast isn't your usual breakfast, the same principle applies to almost anything starchy: oatmeal, cereal, even a bagel. Look at what you're pairing it with before you look at cutting it out. Adding a source of fat, fiber, or protein alongside a starch you already enjoy is usually a far easier, more sustainable change than trying to eliminate that food from your routine altogether. You eat sourdough toast for breakfast because you heard it's the healthier bread. An hour later, you're staring at the clock, foggy, irritable, reaching for coffee number 2 just to get through a meeting. Here's what nobody tells you. Sourdough alone isn't the full picture. The fermentation helps, but plain sourdough toast, especially with just butter or jam, can still spike your blood sugar fast enough to crash it a couple hours later. And if you've been blaming sourdough itself for how you feel after breakfast, it's worth testing this before writing the bread off entirely. Try the same slice with avocado and seeds for a week and pay attention to how differently you feel by mid-morning. Most people are surprised at how much of what they assumed was the bread's fault was actually just the missing fat and fiber standing between them and a steadier morning.